let's talk about healing your feminine energy for a second. I think we're all going to relate to this on another level because I think we live in a world where we're extremely driven, extremely ambitious, extremely goal oriented, and that means we're on a masculine side of things. That means we're constantly chasing goals, targets, or ambitions. We're in that chasing energy. We're constantly in structure and logical sense energy. We're never in trust, flow, understanding, submission energy. And that basically means we're majorly functioning on high masculine energy instead of our feminine energy, which is completely fine because you know what? To achieve goals, we got to be in our masculine energy. Okay, to be able to hit targets, we need to be in our masculine energy. The problem about being in your masculine energy is that there is no problem in being in your masculine energy. Problem arises when you try to switch between your masculine to your feminine energy, where you try to become more nurturing, more accepting, more understanding, more open to receiving, more in touch and tune with yourself and your intuition, and get into the flow state of your own being, and you're not able to do it totally, is because you probably have feminine wounds. You probably have unhealed feminine energy that does not allow you to trust yourself, that does not allow you to trust your intuition, that does not allow you to trust your own internal guidance system. Now, to even begin healing your feminine energy, you need to be able to first get in touch and in tune with your intuition. Now, you might have had that gut feeling here and there that probably something was meant for you, or probably something was right for you and it felt good and you went with it and turns out it was good for you. However, how about the fact that you know what, you get that on a daily basis, on a frequent basis? Wouldn't that be great? Because that would just make your life easier, because then it'll just help you trust yourself a lot more, be in touch with yourself a lot more, be in touch with your needs, your wants, your desires a lot more, understand what you truly want out of this life, and to be able to live the life that you want authentically, because you know what, you've got intuition guiding you, and it's not your logical mind, or it's not something else that somebody else said to you that's guiding you, but it's your own internal guidance system. Because once we follow that as women, that's going to lead us to the life that we actually want to live, the life that we truly desire, like on a deep, deep soul level. How are you going to heal your intuition? Is you're going to start meditating, journaling. Yes, the thing is, intuition's always there. Whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, it's always there. The thing is, it gets suppressed. And I'll tell you why it gets suppressed. Is because, of course, we're not in touch with our feminine energy, but again, we're in our masculine energy. That means we prefer logic and structure and facts before anything else, which is completely fine in some case scenarios. But if you're trying to work on healing your feminine energy, you're going to have to relax. You're going to have to submit to the moment. Just be so present with yourself in this present moment. For example, if you're watching this video, or you know what, you're watching television, you're on your phone, how immersed are you in the thing that you're doing is going to help you align and shift your focus. And once you're focused, that means you shift into a natural meditative state. You don't even have to go all out and do different meditations, even though that does help. So if you're into meditation and journaling, if you're into all of that, where you know what, you actually like to regulate your nervous system, where you go and reconnect with nature, you go on long walks, or you talk to your friends, or you play with your dog, if you're in touch with all of that already, that means it's a good sign. It's because your intuition is there, and it's working in a good way. Okay, this is one more way to tell if you're in wounded feminine energy or in healed feminine energy. Now, feminine energy is very, very extremely creative, okay? Because the feminine is creative. She creates art, she creates life. That's what she does. She creates abundance. She creates the beauty that is in this world. So, if you feel like, you know what, your creative side is suppressed, or it's been a very long time since you've been creative at all, that means dancing, painting, just doing anything that gives you joy and happiness. It could be crocheting, it could be knitting, it could be arts and crafts. It could be, hey, creative means you could be very creative in the kitchen too. You could be making amazing food, you could be trying out different foods, you could be trying different recipes, you could go all out. Creative means creative in every and whichever aspect of life you want to be creative in. Okay, so that applies to all areas of life. So if you feel like, you know what, you're a little stuck in that area where you feel like the creative juices are just not flowing, it's probably because you're in your unhealed feminine energy, or you haven't even tapped into your feminine energy. So I would suggest you get a bit more in touch with the flow of things, relax a little bit. Like, firstly, you need to quiet the overthinking, you need to quiet the logical mind. This is what helps me be in my feminine energy. You have to quiet logical mind, which is looking for reasons, structure, it's arguments. There are debates going on in there. I don't know what's going on in there. It's a lot. Okay. You have to become an observer of that mind and just sit back and relax. It's like that mind is a person in its own, and it's living a life of its own at this point. Like, you know what? You don't even need to stress about it. Just let it go. Relax into your own body. Even if that means you need to give yourself a little massage or try lymphatic drainage or somatic exercises that really, really help. Like, it seems very irrational and small, but it really helps. If you're supposed to do that, you do that. And once you relax into your own body, you're going to notice it. This thing is actually going to bring out the feminine in you, is that how in touch are you with your emotions? And people say that, you know what, being emotionally vulnerable allows you to, foster femininity at its core and to build connections, to be able to connect with other people, and you know what, actually have a flourishing life. However, sometimes some people are not that vulnerable, which is totally fine. Which is totally fine because it's okay. Some people are better at emotional regulation than some people, which is completely fine. So they can manage their own emotions. The thing here is, are you emotionally blocked or unblocked? I'm not talking about sharing your emotions and building connections. If you don't want to do that, that's completely your choice. Some people can regulate their emotions, handle their emotions very well within themselves, and you know what? They're okay. But the fact is that you acknowledge that you have emotions. You acknowledge that, you know what, I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. I'm human. That bothered me. It's fine. As long as you're in touch and in tune with your emotional side and in tune with the fact that, you know what, you can be emotionally vulnerable. You're okay with that and you don't reject it. You're not emotionally unavailable. You don't reject that side of you, that emotionally vulnerable side of you. You're in touch with your feminine energy. And if not, you really need to start. It's going to be scary. Being emotionally open and being emotionally vulnerable is scary, which is fine, especially if you're a beginner and you've been through that phase of being emotionally unavailable because of whatever happened in your past, the trauma, the ex that hurt you, or whatever it was. But again, there's always a chance to start fresh. So now that you've come across this video, this is going to be your sign to actually start being more emotionally open, be more emotionally vulnerable, at least towards yourself. And slowly, once you're comfortable, you can be like that towards other people. Okay, and that's actually going to help you flourish in your life, flourish in your career. So if you're experiencing these kind of blocks in your life, in your relationships, in your career, it could be anything. It is probably because you're emotionally blocked. And you know what? If there's no road there, there's going to be no connection. So you need to work on that. I think we've all come across terms like being in your soft girl era, being in your receiving girl era. What does that even mean? That means you're in your femininity. That's it. That's all it means. It's not supposed to be this massive, huge, big, ridiculous thing that people make it out to be. It's really not. It just means that you're in your feminine energy and you're a feminine woman. That's all it means. Because femininity also means that you're open to receiving without guilt. Yes, you're open to receiving help, gifts, emotional support, mental support. You're open to receiving anything and everything without the guilt and that anticipation where you're like, oh, you know what? This person said something nice to me. This person gave me something. So I'm obligated to say it back to them or give it back to them. No, 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 no. That's again you being in your masculine. That does not make sense at all. You need to calm down, be in your feminine, be open to receiving, because that's what a feminine does. She's very nurturing. She is very motherly in a way. Your instincts are very strong. You're very nurturing. You're very kind. You're very caring. Okay, you're very open to receiving. You're in touch and in tune with your emotions and with other people's emotions. Okay, you're in your soft era. Basically, you're a soft person at your core. Nobody's a tough person at their core. Everybody is soft, everybody is calm, everybody's relaxed. The fact that you can let go of your anxiety and all the triggers that are bothering you on a day-to-day basis is just going to help you relax a lot more again, and it's going to help you be a lot more comfortable in your feminine era. It might be a little uncomfortable if you're been heavily in your masculinity and now you're like looking to transform into your femininity. You're like, I can't just surrender control, I can't just give up control. Of course you can't. That's why it's a process. It's going to take you some time. So even if you do it one step at a time, you let go of something, just one thing. It doesn't even have to be that big. Just let go of something someone said to you. Let it go because you don't need it. Slowly, your mind and your body is going to begin to accept the fact that it's okay to let go. It's okay to not store this stress, that kind of cortisol anywhere in our body, because it's not serving us, it's not serving our highest self, and it's not serving your feminine energy. Instead, it's just wounding you even more. So once you surrender control, go into that receiving mode of things, life will be a lot better. Now, of course, sometimes there are some incidences that cause trauma. As women, we tend to store that trauma in our brain and we tend to store it in our bodies sometimes. Even if we feel like, we've gotten over something, we probably haven't. It's stored in different areas of our body. That jaw clenching you do at night unknowingly, that stress you hold in your temples where you feel a little bit of stiffness, or there's like muscle pain and you don't even work out and you're just feeling stiff in certain areas of your body, is probably because you've got trauma. And that means you've got high levels of cortisol that's been stored in that area, which is completely fine. You know what? There's nothing wrong with having a masculine side, because you do need a masculine side to protect your feminine side. Okay, your feminine side is very soft and nurturing and very receiving, very open. Does not mean she's open to abuse, does not mean she's open to narcissism, does not mean she's open to all of that. Absolutely not. She's open to the good things and the final things that life has to offer. So, of course, you have a masculine side, which is completely fine. The thing is, even though you're in your masculine most of the day or most of the time in front of other people because you need to protect yourself, which is completely fine, totally understandable, completely fine. But when you're with yourself, you trust yourself, right? You're safe, right? When you're in your room, when you're in your own house, you're safe. You're soft. Be open then. That's what I'm talking about. You don't have to do this 24/7. You have to be in your feminine when you feel safe, when it feels safe and secure to be in your feminine. And once you're in that feminine energy, you're going to feel so much of a difference. It just feels so much lighter. It just feels so much better. Things, conversation, relationships just flow. They just flow in your life because you're constantly in that receiving mode and you're open to receiving all of the goodness that life has to offer. Feminine energy is very positive, very light, very airy, breezy, like a breath of fresh air. Like, you connect with people, you're very calm, you're very relaxed, it's very happy in a way. You know what? That's a place that you really want to be in. Now, these are some practical steps that you can take to actually embrace your feminine energy and stay in that energy for the longest period of time. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start cycle syncing. Yes, now cycle syncing, I'll make a whole different video on that. Do let me know if you guys want to know more. So I'll just give you a little brief. Cycle syncing is basically when you sync. So women have monthly cycles, right? So you sync all of your daily activities, your to-do list, to your energy level on that day. We do not wake up with the same energy level every single day. We have different phases. We have the menstrual cycle, we have the luteal phase, we have the follicular phase, which is, okay, and the ovulation phase, duh. But the thing is, your energy levels are going to be very different in these different phases. So you need to understand that a bit more about yourself. You're going to start nervous system regulation. So what you're going to do is you're going to go touch grass every single day. What I mean by that is not literally touching grass, but just going on a walk or getting some sort of endorphin hit. That means you're going to go cycling, you're going to take a walk along the road in your neighborhood, you're going to go to the gym, you're going to go to Pilates, you're going to work out, you're going to get some sort of movement in your body, no matter how you're feeling, because you have to hack your happy hormones. And once you hack your happy hormones, you're already in your feminine energy. Just saying. It's Very easy. And on top of that, you're going to have a good nutritious diet. You're not going to eat foods that give you inflammation, that trigger your anxiety, like extreme amounts of caffeine. Have a little bit of caffeine here and there, which is fine because you need that throughout the day to function, which is okay. But again, if you work on your baseline energy levels, there's going to come a time when you're not going to need caffeine. Then you're probably going to switch to matcha, healthier option, because it dissipates that energy throughout the day, which is again great. And you know what? Once you've reached that level where you do not even need any of these drinks, you're going to feel a lot better. Also, learn to ground yourself a little bit. Now, that means, again, touching grass. Basically, stay in the present moment. Stay in the present moment. And it's a lot more simpler when you take long, deep breaths. I'll tell you why. Because there's enough oxygen going to your brain, and that allows you to stay in the present moment. That automatically grounds you somehow. Like in that moment, you instantly feel it. Like even now, you're watching this video, take 3 long and sharp, deep breaths. You're gonna feel so calm on the inside, and you're gonna feel grounded immediately. That's why people say practicing things like meditation, breath work is going to actually help you, and also EFT tappings, somatic exercises. They're going to drain you, and they're going to release any of the negativity, the limiting beliefs that you might have, or the blocks that you're holding within yourself that you didn't know you were holding. It's going to release all of that. So if you guys want, I can make a whole different video on that, elaborating and explaining every single thing in detail, so you guys can actually put that to use and practice it on a day-to-day basis. Okay, because you really need that. I think everybody needs it at this point. The times that we live in, we need that. We really need that. So, you know what? Go ahead, start doing it. You're going to notice a difference, and you're going to build so much of your feminine energy. Like, I'm not even kidding. You're going to become so strong in your feminine energy. You're not going to feel weak in your feminine energy. You're going to become very strong in your feminine energy. You're going to embrace a different side of you. A different side of you is going to be shown to the world, being you're gonna truly become a different person altogether, that is separate from the masculine side of things. You're gonna function differently, you're gonna think differently. You're not going to be overdoing anything, overthinking, overworking. Absolutely not. Because now you actually respect your needs and wants, because you understand your needs and wants. It's as simple as that. Once you understand what you want, you automatically respect it, because you know you're going to feel a lot better after that. So once you do all of these things, you're just going to feel a lot more calmer and at peace with yourself, where you're in that place of your life where you're, in that place where you can trust yourself. When you actually believe yourself, you can trust the decisions that you make. And you know what? You can hold yourself accountable when you think you may be doing things off. Again, having a little self-compassion is going to go a long way. You guys need to understand that you have to build that trust with yourself, and that trust is only going to come if you're patient with yourself. If you have anxiety, work on that. Work on releasing anxiety, work on releasing self-doubt, work on releasing stress, work on regulating your nervous system, work on calming your overthinking, overanalyzing mind. Because let me tell you one thing, it's not that serious. Seriously, if this statement helps, I hope it does. It's not that serious. You could die tomorrow. Okay? All of that overthinking, all the overanalyzing you're doing is going to go down the drain if you die tomorrow. So literally relax. Relax in your being. You know how good you felt immediately after listening to that statement, where you're like, you know what? Leave everything else, because oh my god, that is true. Nobody knows when they're going to die, right? Anything could happen at any moment, even though this is an extreme statement I'm making. But again, that statement helps you ground yourself back into reality and into this present moment, where you're like, true, that is true. I need to relax, I need to breathe, I need to let go of things I can't control. Let go of that over control, overdoing things, where you're highly in your masculine energy, where you just want to control everything, you just want to possess everything, you want that structure, that routine. Let it go, release it. Especially when you're working on healing your feminine energy, you need to let go of all of these things. Now, again, what you're going to do is you're going to set a time aside to do all of these practices throughout the day, till the point that you actually build that amount of confidence in your feminine energy. You're going to set a time aside, and you're going to do this consciously, so that there's some actual value addition into that routine that you're creating for yourself, so that you can actually practice being in your soft girl era, being in your femininity, being in that happy era. Having said that, we come to the end of this brilliant video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys want more videos like this from me, do let me know in the comment section down below, because I read all the comments and I do like them. Yes. However, I'll see you guys in my next one. Till then, take care and bye. Money on top of me, money on top of her. Money on top of me, money on top of her. Daddy fuck with me 'cause you know